Hi and welcome to a special vlog dedicated to one of my favorite cities in Europe. Welcome to Porto, Portugal, a city bursting with charm, history and vibrant culture. Known for its colorful buildings, the iconic Douro River, and of course its world-famous port wine. Porto offers a mix of breathtaking views and unforgettable experiences. In this video, I'll take you through my favorite attractions, from the stunning Sé do Porto to the intricate architecture of Casa Portuguesa do Pastel de Bacalhau, one of the most interesting buildings I've seen in Porto. I've put all of my favorite attractions free and paid in this video to make it easier for you to just enjoy Porto and not worry about planning your trip. So let's dive into the magic of this incredible city. We'll start with one of the first spots that we visited. It's called Miradouro da Rua das Caldas. I absolutely love the view from this spot. It is one of the best miradouros to soak in Porto's rooftops and the river. This miradouro is tucked in Porto's oldest neighborhood, offering stunning views of the city's rooftops and the Douro River. Right nearby is the Sé do Porto, the city's cathedral. It's free to check out, but the cloisters cost a few euros. It's totally worth it if you want some peaceful vibes and to admire some gorgeous architecture. The city's cathedral dates back to the 12th century. This Romanesque Gothic masterpiece has seen several architecture updates over the centuries, including Baroque cloisters that you can visit for just a few euros. We love to relax here, take in the vibes, listen some live music, and admire the views and the beautiful blue tile decorations of the cloisters. You can't miss this spot when you come to Porto. Our next attraction is Mercado do Bolhão. Walking through Mercado do Bolhão was such a fun experience. It's packed with fresh produce, local snacks and cool souvenirs. It's free to wander around, and if you're into trying traditional Portuguese food, then this is the place to do it. It has been a centerpiece of Porto's culture since 1914. This historic market, recently renovated, is where locals have shopped for fresh produce, meat and fish for over a century. Walking through its beautifully restored architecture, I felt like I was stepping back into time. This next attraction is called Torre dos Clérigos. You can enjoy this masterpiece from outside, but you can also climb it. It's quite a workout, but the views on top, totally worth the 6 euros. This Baroque tower is iconic, and the panoramic view of Porto is something that you don't want to miss. Built in the mid-1700s by Italian architect Nicolau, Torre dos Clérigos is one of Porto's most recognizable landmarks. The Baroque design and 240 steps to the top make it both a historical gem and a must-do if you want unbeatable panoramic views. This is Igreja do Carmo. Igreja do Carmo blew me away with its detailed facade covered in azulejos. It was built in the 18th century and is a stunning piece of Rococo architecture. Its famous azulejo facade was added later in 1912, illustrating scenes from the Carmelite history. And did you know there's a tiny house between this church and the one next door? This is the imposing Ponte Luís I. Ponte Luís I, completed in 1886, was designed by a student of Gustav Eiffel. This double-deck iron bridge is an engineering marvel, connecting Porto to Vila Nova de Gaia. Walking across this magnificent bridge was absolutely magical. The views of Porto and the Douro River are incredible. On the other side is Vila Nova de Gaia. Gaia is home to centuries-old port wine cellars, where wine production has been a tradition since the 17th century. If you're coming to Porto, you must certainly go over to Gaia because there are a lot of activities that you can do there, including seeing the famous port wine cellars. A tasting in one of these cellars costs between 10 to 20 euros. It's such a vibe, especially at sunset. In Gaia, there is the Chocolate Story Museum. If you love chocolate as much as I do, you love the Chocolate Story Museum. For around 12 euros, I got to learn about the history of chocolate and even taste some along the way. It's super interactive and is great for all ages. It's located in the Wow Culture District in Vila Nova de Gaia. This museum walks you through the 4,000-year history of chocolate. It's an interactive journey that also showcases Porto's connection to chocolate making. This is Igreja Paroquial de Santo Ildefonso. It costs about 2 euros to go inside, but the outside is just as impressive. This iconic building is a quirky little shop with cool, affordable fashion finds. Perfect if you're on a budget but still want something unique. This is the famous São Bento station. It's absolutely stunning with its azulejo tiles that tell stories of Portugal's history. It was built in the early 1900s on the site of a former Benedictine monastery. Its breathtaking azulejos, installed in 1930, depict Portugal's history in over 20,000 hand-painted pieces. Since we were here, we hopped on a train to Aveiro, which only cost us 4 euros per person. It's a cute little town with canals and colorful boats. It was such a fun day trip. It's a city known for its Art Nouveau architecture and historic salt production. If you're planning a trip to Porto, a day trip to Aveiro should definitely be on your list. On to the next attraction, Capella das Almas de Santa Catarina. I couldn't stop taking photos of this church. It's beautiful and white tiles are so detailed and beautiful. It's free to visit, and even if you don't go inside, the outside is a showstopper. Capella das Almas, built in the 18th century, is covered with more than 16,000 azulejos depicting scenes from the lives of saints. The tiles make this chapel one of Porto's most photographed landmarks. Also in Gaia, this spot, Casa Portuguesa do Pastel de Bacalhau, serves the best pastel de bacalhau I've ever had. The best part is that it's housed in a historic building, and it elevates the pastel de bacalhau into a gourmet experience. Even if you don't want to try the pastel, seeing this architectural masterpiece must be on your list. It's a crispy codfish fritter stuffed with cheese, and it's around €5. You might consider it a little pricey, but honestly it's so delicious that it's worth every bite. Cais da Ribeira at night is pure magical. The lights reflecting on the river, the lively restaurants, and the sound of live music make it such a cool spot to hang out. Cais da Ribeira is Porto's riverside heart, lined with colorful buildings that date back to the medieval era. At night, the area comes alive with lights reflecting on the Douro River and a lively atmosphere filled with music, food, and wine. My second favorite Miradouro is this one, Miradouro da Vitória. This spot feels like a secret, and it was one of the first spots that we saw once we arrived in Porto. It has stunning views of Porto and it's totally free. This hidden viewpoint is located in an area that dates back to the 14th century, once home to the Jewish quarter of Porto. It offers a unique glimpse of Porto's history alongside incredible views of the city, the cathedral, and the river, and it's not crowded either, so it's perfect for snapping photos or just relaxing. Right next to our accommodation was this place, Rua das Flores, and it's one of my favorite streets in Porto. It's full of cute shops, cafes, and colorful buildings. It has been a hub of activities since the 16th century. Today, the cobblestone road is lined with restored 18th century buildings, boutique shops, and cozy cafes. So if you're looking for a lively and traditional restaurant, you have to come to this street. You'll have so many options to choose from. To easily get to all of these attractions, I recommend that you stay in the neighborhood where we stayed. It's called the São Nicolau neighborhood, and we booked the accommodation on Booking, and it's called Holiday in Portugal, Ribeira Center number 3. We paid €75 per night. It had a little kitchen and a bathroom, and the neighborhood was very quiet, and the position was just perfect. This is the view from our balcony. In the right, we could see the Cais da Ribeira street, and we were very close to all the restaurants and cafes on that beautiful esplanade. This is how the interior of the hotel looked like. It was quite old and had a very vintage feel to it, but we really loved it. It was a self-check-in and we had no problems during our stay. As soon as we stepped foot off our accommodation, this beautiful steep hill was waiting for us, and this was our daily road to the main center. It took us about 10 minutes to get there, but being as the hill was quite steep, it's really a workout, so be prepared for that with proper shoes. And this was the magnificent view that we had on the way to the center, and it was just lovely. I'll leave the link to the booking accommodation in the description. These are some of my favorite attractions in Porto that are truly worth visiting. After all, traveling is not about checking off the most popular spots, but to find those quirky little shops where you can take in the culture and see the true life of those living in Porto. I want to walk freely through the streets, stop wherever I want, not having a schedule or having to reserve things in advance. I want to take in the culture, enjoy a beautiful sunset, and be in the present. And so if you just want to relax and take in Porto and not worry about planning, I've made a complete travel guide and also a map which you'll find in the description below. The map includes my Google Maps list of all the attractions I mentioned here, plus restaurants, cafes, brunch places, and so on. In my complete travel guide, I've also included more details on attractions, restaurants, transportation options, tours, and free attractions. You'll find the link to my travel guide in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time with new recommendations of my favorite spots in Europe.